after a slight delay in streaming, I am back. I could not find this giant piece, which is very important for this bag, because I did the classic tidying up my Lego workspace, and when things were supposedly put away, I could not find it. So anyways, I have that now. So let's get to the real building. All right. So in this set, thus far for this build, we have done a lot of different parts of the castle. So we have an area over here which contains the Chamber of Secrets. We have a lot of stuff from the Sorcerer's Stone right in here, where there's the Devil's Snare, as well as the chessboard. And then over on this side, we have the room where the stone was actually held. So I'm really excited to see what comes along as we move to this side. Bag number 3 was a lot of the rocks and boulders here, a little bit of greenery as well as some water. So it looks like bag number 4 will be taking on a lot of new space. So in my usual fashion, I have not pre-opened the bag of pieces, so I will do that now. I have ordered a sorting tray that will maybe at least help with not having there be so much noise during my video of the bags rustling while I'm doing the builds, but we'll see once that arrives. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm fairly new to the world of Legos, and I bought my first set a little over a year ago. I think I got my first set for Christmas in 2023. So I'm still learning a lot about it. This is my biggest build yet. It's my first set where there was this piece just hanging out in the box that wasn't part of a bag, which was new to me. So I'm really interested in seeing what different surprises there are in all the various sets I do. I'm still trying to learn the ropes for what makes a build go smoothly. So any advice, recommendations, always welcomed as we go through this adventure. So one of the other things that I've really enjoyed and appreciated thus far with the different builds I've done are the little kind of like, I guess that you could call them Easter eggs that you can find along the way. So one of the builds I've done already, one of the level, it's the owlry, and one of the levels there's the different pieces make up an owl face, which, like, you know, it doesn't show in the end, but it's kind of fun along the way to see those things. So I've definitely enjoyed that. And I've been really impressed thus far with the level of detail in this castle with the different areas and the different chambers underneath. I am a huge Harry Potter nerd, and so being able to see these different small details, and especially things that won't necessarily show in the final product, but make it more fun and true to the stories along the way, I really enjoy. So that's been a bit of a delight for me. And then one of the other things about the way I build Legos, which I'd really be interested to hear from others, whether they're the same way or if I'm just totally strange in this. But I am very meticulous with how I lay the bricks down, to have the little word on the brick. So let me see if I can get it focused here in the picture. Maybe or maybe not. But if you're familiar with Legos, the bricks on the little bumps have the word Lego on them. And I really enjoy being able to, as much as possible, have that facing the same direction in my builds. So in this build in particular, this right here is the front of the castle. So when possible, I either have the word Lego showing so that the way I'm looking at it now, you can read it, or having it oriented to the right so that this direction you can read it normally. So just something that's unnecessary, but I enjoy taking a little bit of extra time to have that level of consistency in my builds. And I am a statistician by training, and that's what I do a lot during my day job. So something else that I really enjoy geeking out on is the level of accuracy that there is in the manufacturing of Lego pieces. So this shows in a few different forms. One of them is that the pieces have to pass a certain level of precision in order to make it into a product. So this is really important for some pretty obvious reasons, where if you're building something that's intricate or is a lot of pieces stacking on top of each other, tiny inaccuracies can cause some huge issues along the way. So having that level of precision certainly helps ensure that the final products not only come together, but also look good in the end. And Lego is an example in quality level across a lot of manufacturing industries for their precision with that. Another thing that's highly impressive with the Lego brand is that they rarely have box sets that are missing any pieces. It's pretty rare to buy a set that has anything missing. All right, I was too busy talking and not counting, so I need 14 of these little pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so one more of these. Gonna just lay those right there. And then also one of these larger ones. So the pieces like these don't have as clear of an upright or upside down aspect to them. So I just lay them whichever way is quickest. which I'm still not always necessarily very quick with. So quickest doesn't necessarily mean fast. All right. So this will be, I'll say about my 5th, maybe my 6th Harry Potter build. I've done a couple non-Harry Potter ones before. When I was first thinking of starting to buy Legos, I bought a really, really cheap James Bond set from a discount store that had a partially destroyed box, and so I could get really inexpensively. And I bought that one just to confirm, like, yes, this is something I want to start investing money in. It's not that I just like the idea of Legos, but I'm really wanting to start sinking the money into buying and collecting and building them. And I've also built a couple botanical sets, and those I have been thoroughly impressed with as well. They look really amazing when complete. Obviously not quite lifelike, but for something using module blocks to mimic nature and color and shape and things like that, I'm extremely impressed with how those have turned out. So those are the main other sets I've done. I've also done a few Disney ones as well. So the small version of the Disney World Castle, which I believe is based off of the Cinderella Castle, and I think in real life inspired by Neuschwanstein, which is a famous castle in the mountains in Germany, which I've been to, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. I can't recommend it enough. And then also a few sets of Frozen Legos, because it's something my daughter really enjoys. But most of the serious builds, if you can call them that, have been Harry Potter. So trying to get this in here securely. All right, there we go. Even though I haven't bought any yet, I also think that the various architecture sets are fascinating. There are lots of really beautiful buildings and various scenery that there are sets for. Also, as someone who absolutely loves to travel, the idea of sets that depict either places I've seen or places I've dreamed of visiting is just really cool. So at some point I might have to also pivot and start collecting more things like that as well. So I'd also be curious to hear from people if they have any favorite sets in general, or favorite themes or lines of Lego sets. There are so many out there, and so many that just seem really cool. With the extremely high level of quality and within the Lego sets, I mean, it only is fair that they're priced what they are, I think. However, it also means that it would be rather difficult to actually buy all the sets that I think are really cool. So I'd love to hear what people think are the ones that are especially worthwhile to purchase. And here in a moment, we might have a visit from my cat, who knows he's not allowed on my kitchen table, but hears me talking on camera and has to visit anyways. So if you see some paws or a tail flying across the view, shout out to Albert. One of the other things that has really caught my attention as I've done these sets is the use of color that Lego has. So for instance, here we have red, this darker green, this royal blue, and this lighter green. And I'm not sure what use this might still come of. Oh, ooh, thank you, Albert. That was very kind of you to bump the camera. But I have found a lot of times colorful pieces are just randomly used inside the builds. I have a couple guesses as to why that is done. Alas, I do not know and would be curious to hear what other people think. So are they put in here just to make things more interesting, to make the instructions easier to follow, to being able to visually space things out and align things how they should be? Or is there more of a purpose? Sometimes these colorful pieces end up going into to something bigger or some level of detail down the line, but I've found that quite often they're not. And I have a cat back again. I feel like that's a good hallmark of amateur streaming. So I've talked before about my lack of a system in pre-organizing and sorting bricks. And I have not been blown away by any of the sorting solutions or trays that I've seen online for this. There is one I'm going to order straight from the Lego site. But it still doesn't follow what I would consider the logical needs for doing these builds. But hopefully, I have good luck with it anyways. But if anyone has a favorite organizer for pieces for when doing builds specifically, I've seen different like travel cases, which I'm sure are helpful to certain people, but just aren't. It isn't quite the need I have at this point in time. So if anyone does have a certain brand or kind that they particularly like, I'd appreciate having the link for that. So, all right, Kat, I can't see the instructions with you sitting right there. Let's see if he actually stays away this time. Definitely one of the hazards of having pets that really enjoy attention. Oops. And I was so busy with that I accidentally didn't follow my usual pattern of which way to have the Lego words facing. So even though that was positioned correctly, I like having the word being positioned consistently. And I am wondering, I position these off slightly. So these should be shifted up by 1. Gotta love how well Legos stick to each other. It makes the quality high, but man, does it make fixing mistakes difficult at times. So there, those are now aligned correctly. One of the things I've noticed, so I have been predominantly building using the books. I did use the app at first when I started building, but haven't continued using that. One of the struggles I have from the books at times is this mistake. So there's a piece that the book shows, and it looked shorter than this piece, but this was the only one I could find, so I assumed this one must be right. Well, turns out it was this one. So I did grab the wrong piece. It's because even though they're similar shapes, this one was in the main big bag and this one was in the small bags that come along with it, which I think, you know, is probably a pretty reasonable or common mistake. But at times it's hard to, it's not a piece where you can just count the number of bumps on it or something of the like. It can be hard to decipher which piece is the one that's actually needed. So maybe I should use the app more often. Maybe that would resolve that issue for me. But it is something that I've noticed and I've tried to get a good fix around for. Alas, I have not found one yet. All right, so it also might be one of those instances where laying all the pieces out in advance and sorting them might make it more obvious when seeing them side by side. Might be more obvious to tell what should go where. So that's a definite possibility that I'll be interested to see if that's the case when I do I do try a piece sorting methodology. So I'm interested to see what comes of this piece here. So I'm gonna, there we go. This is going to go right here. So this is the head of Salazar Slytherin from the Chamber of Secrets. And looks like this screen or exterior wall or the like goes right there. So, you know, obviously this is going to have to be covered up to some extent at some point, but the choice in the piece being one of these ones with the cutout I find interesting. So I'm excited to see the reasoning for that as we continue. Now the book has changed the perspective of the view. So I'll show real quick. I have been building with the same orientation as the booklet, looking at it that way from the front of the castle. However, it's now showing kind of from a back left view. So I am going to, I don't have to move this to match the orientation in the pictures, but it will make things a lot simpler and faster if I do. A lot less thinking through the conversions. So I think this still shows all right. And I'm going to keep it like this at least for a little bit to make it easier to follow. All right, here's another instance of, I'm not quite sure whether I need one of these longer ramp-like pieces or a shorter one. I'll show the picture in the book. So I think that's decent lighting. So right there, I think it's probably a shorter one, but we'll have to see and find out. Another thing that can be difficult is when there are multiple pieces of similar color to choose from. So that I've had issues with getting pieces incorrect earlier in this build, where I ended up from the picture in the manual mistaking what should have been I think actually this, oof, there we go. What should have been a lighter gray versus a darker gray. And here too, with that one, there's a slightly darker gray that it could have been. And it took realizing that the darker gray has 4 bumps on it, and the picture only showed 3. So fortunately, there was a fairly quick way to determine which it should be, but when I am somewhat mindlessly or half distractedly doing a build, I have definitely gotten that type of thing wrong before. And I have a feeling I'm probably not the only person who has fallen victim to that. At least I hope not. All right, so adding in a couple colorful pieces here again. So this is kind of interesting. Building up this bridge or connector between the two, the front and the back of the castle. I'm really interested to see what that ends up turning into. I am sure that there is great reasoning for it. Here too, there's this piece has a gap underneath it. So I'm curious to see if there's a reason for that opening in there and not having it be solid brick, or whether it was just the most efficient usage of bricks in this instance. So, turn this piece like that. Now I need to get 4 of these small yellow circle pieces. And see here, oh, there's 2. Lost another gray piece while searching for this. 3 and 4. Let's put this back in there. All right. I don't mean to sound like a broken record with saying this, but here I am again wondering, what are these pieces? What is the point of having these specific round yellow pieces in these places? In some places it looks like it maybe is just to have even levels. So here we now have something level, here we have something level, and that might just be it. But I find it interesting that we're using circular yellow pieces for that. So, here it looks like we're going to build an arch or an entryway. So we have this white piece here, and it's going to connect like that. And we have the brown piece, and ooh, there we go. All right, so here's the first usage of one of the yellow dots. This is going on top of one, and then also in between. They do kind of remind me of lanterns, but I would expect if that's what they were going to be in the end, they wouldn't have been their current positioning. I would have expected something maybe a little bit more surface level. All right, there we go. We have, let's see if I can tilt this without breaking anything. Ooh, that's a big if. So not a great picture, but here we have that new arch. That it's honestly surprisingly uneven. I know it's supposed to be. I'm feeling that will work itself out. Oh, no, in the picture it's uneven. Perfect. It's not that anything was done incorrectly. All right. got some more long connection pieces here. All right, so this is going on top of 2 more of the yellow dots. And this is covering up another couple more. So maybe they're just risers there. So for this one, we start with this piece, and then we will add this one. Then this, with this one on top. This will go there we go. All right, perfect. I'm not crazy. At least not for that reason. These those weren't supposed to connect perfectly. Now they're actually level. This bag, turn it this way so that it fits the view a little bit better. I'll use that as a little piece tray. This build has been going, or this bag from this build has been thus far quicker than the rest. I think there have been fewer tiny pieces involved. Here. The details in the rocks always fascinate me. I find it very impressive. The designers for Lego, how they can just, these modular pieces bring scenery alive. I very much so have a mathematical mind and not a creative one. So any sort of design or creativity always impresses me. There. Then, oh, all right. Here we go. Man, I am really struggling with this one. There we go. Then one goes. There we go. Here it looks like a lot of the different colored bricks that had been used in this bag are going to ultimately be covered up, which doesn't surprise me, but is something that I always worry or wonder about. I do not worry about it, but I do wonder about it along the way. Looks like most of what's probably left is just a lot of building out the boulders around the base of the castle, which is completely understandable. I'm trying to think what the largest build I've done so far, but up until this one is. I've done some that had over 1,000 pieces in it, but the number of bags of pieces there are for this one is, I was very surprised when I opened it, which makes a lot of sense, but it still was impressive to see them all. So this is bag 4. I think that there's 20 something in total. So there will be lots more videos for finishing this one out. I'll probably also do some smaller builds mixed in along the way, just for a bit of a break, and also because each bag thus far for this build, I know earlier I said that this one was going quickly. I think I spoke too soon. Woo! Each bag has been taking about an hour, which I greatly enjoy doing my builds, but that also sometimes is hard to dedicate an hour of focused time on a Lego build. And even though I don't have to do a full bag at a time, I can stop partway through. It's really nice to just get to that natural stopping point and, for the sake of completion, get to that marker. So I'll have to see. I'll have to see what other builds I get done along the way for this. All right. Whoop! That's not what I meant to do. Hopefully that view is still good. Here is another instance where I initially grabbed the wrong color. I thought that in the picture this was a light brown, but it's a yellow. And then this green one as well. Right. Yeah, at this point in time, I'll probably just dump out all the remaining pieces instead of having to dig through the bag every time. So I need this one, and this semicircle. Let's see here. There's that, which I wonder if that's the base of one of the towers right there. All right. Curious to see what other details from future movies or books. I am first and foremost a books person for the Harry Potter series, but what other details get added in addition to the Chamber of Secrets and the Sorcerer's Stone and all the obstacles leading to that. It's pretty obvious from the packaging that there will be the Beauxbaton carriage, and I believe the Whomping Willow. See, there might be also some Quidditch pieces or Quidditch special touches or aspects. So it'll be pretty neat to see. All right, we have the last few details here, and looking back at the picture from the cover, we have here, I do believe that what we're working on right now is over here with that. So we see the Durmstrang ship as well there, but yeah, it looks like there'll be some cool details on that end to come. So let's see these last few pieces. we go. Okay, there's that. Then another one of these single little round ones. And then we put more of those there. I think one of those actually fell on the floor when my cat was jumping down. Let's see. So this one will go there. One of the pieces of detail I really appreciate about the manuals in the set is these little write-ups about it as well. So this one says, many of the castle's secrets are still mysteries to the wizarding world. Even Albus Dumbledore never knew everything about its construction or design, which is referencing something that Dumbledore says at the Yule Ball in the fourth book, the Tri-Wizard Tournament. And at least in the books is referenced multiple times after that. So kind of a neat little tie back. It'd be so cool if there were a real life Hogwarts. If you've ever been to Universal Studios, they have a Hogwarts Castle, both the Hollywood one as well as the Orlando Universal Universal Studios has it. I don't think I went inside the one in Hollywood. I went to Hogsmeade there, but in general, the Orlando Harry Potter world is bigger and has a bit more to it, and it's really cool. So with that, we have gotten another layer of pieces done for this corner of the castle, and we'll have to see what the next bag number 5 of Legos has in store. So thank you everyone for watching, and I look forward to the next one.